morning and good evening. All right, so we are in session number 13 today, and I'm sorry, we are in session number 14 today. This is a typo, excuse me. And in this session, we are going to cover the chapter called Modules and Packages. And I'm sure you guys must have remembered now that since the beginning of this course, I have been telling, module, package, classes, libraries, all of these are one and the same, right? Everything that you have been importing today, like import datetime, import pandas, import OS, all of these are packages is what I have been calling, or all of these are modules is what I have been calling, right? So let's actually see if we can create our own module or package or library like that. Okay, so that is the main purpose of this class, and we are going to, by the end of the class, I'm very much sure that you're going to create your own Python module and you're going to import it into your Python kernel and use it, like we have been doing with respect to datetime, with respect to OS, with respect to sys. All of these were modules and packages we have been loading into our Python shell, right? So that's what we are going to see today. So as you have on the screen, we have we are going to see how to create, how to load, how to make use the best of them, how to maintain them, and also the last and not the least, but very important, this I have been pushing it forward, right? Saying that you will know it better later. This is the time that you're going to know that. So what is the difference between a library, module, and a package? And why I have been telling so far that it doesn't make any difference to me. It is one and the same. Okay, you should know the differences for sure, but at the same time you should also feel like, okay, this is nothing different, but it's the same thing everywhere, right? So I'll make that clarity, by the end you reach this end of the session. So let's do that. And as always, let's do a quick recap of what we have learned in the last session number 13. So we dealt the data frames concepts in the last session. At overall, the data frame is a topic of dealing with the data in the form of tabular structure. Okay, so the data frame is nothing but an object inside Python, which is of the format, the data type or the data structure is in the form of table. And we have seen columns, definition of rows or records is what we have seen. And later we have also seen what are the different types of joins, left join, right join, outer join, inner join. Then we have also seen how to execute all of them, right, with the help of an example as well. Okay, so then we have also seen concat and how to save your data in the form of a table in a file, and vice versa. If there is a data in the file, how to read the data into the kernel, okay, into the Python shell. So all of these things we have covered in the last session. Okay, and remember one thing, the session number 13 is one of the most important things that you have to practice for sure. Because in case if you want to become a Python developer in the future, I bet you won't have a day without dealing with the data, which is of type table. Okay, so that's the reason, keep all of your focus in also getting into your own questions of solving. Then it will help you learning much better. Okay, so let's quickly start our today's session, that is module. Okay, so I'll get back to this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one file in this directory. I'm going to call it the same name, but session 14, but I would say I'm going to create a module called mod1. Why is it I'm calling module? I'll come there anyway. So I'm just saying mod1. So I'm creating this file. Now let me start creating a class. Okay, so class, I would say Oracle underscore mod1 underscore class 1, which is nothing but, now I'm going to create inside few functions like def Oracle mod1 class 1. There is a function 1. This is how I'm keeping it as a name, and this takes input called a comma b. Okay, and what will it do? Just return simply, I'm simply creating some dummy functions inside a class. Okay, so def Oracle mod1, just say return a into b, for example. Okay, cool. I created one function. I'm creating another function, Oracle underscore mod1 underscore class 1 underscore function 2. Again, let it take two more variables, two more inputs. Now here it will return, for example, a plus b. Okay. Now I'm creating third function inside this class, rskill underscore mod1 underscore class 1 underscore function 3. Okay. And this, let it take two more inputs for this as well. And it will return a minus b. Okay. So I'm creating one class inside this file. What is the file? pfb underscore session 14 underscore mod1.py. All right. Now inside the same function, file, I'm also creating another function called def rskill underscore mod1 underscore function 1. See, the difference is inside the function, I'm calling the name of the function includes class name also. But outside the class, it is directly mod1 underscore function 1. So that when I call this later, you can really understand that this function, with the name itself, you understand that it is part of this class. When I call this function, you really understand that it is not part of the class. That's the only intention. Okay. So a comma b, let it take two more inputs. Now again, I would say return instead a square, a to the power b. Okay. This is what it will return. Let me also create another function called rskill underscore mod1 underscore function 2, which is outside the class, and there is no input to this, but what it will say is print you have been in pfb underscore session 14 underscore mod1 module. Okay, now I am saving this file. That's it. Okay, so now let me come back to my original file, this. Now what is a module? I would call this complete file of the code that I have got today is a module. So what is the definition of a module? A module is a Python file which has got predefined classes, predefined functions inside the file, that itself. That's it. That is the definition of a module. Now, in case I have 10 different Python files, and in each of these Python files, I would like to make utilize of these functions. How can I import these functions inside my Python kernel? Is what the exercise that we are going to do. So I just created a module. What is a module? Module is just a Python file which has got group of definitions, that is nothing but functions, and group of classes. You can also create a second class also, no problem. Okay. You can have n number of classes inside this. You can have n number of functions inside this file, and this complete file is called a module. Okay. Now, why is it called a module? If I want to basically run this particular function, which is available inside this file, what should I do from a different file? I should just say import and the file name. See, that's it. I say import the complete file name, everything, all the classes and functions which are available inside the file will be made available for you inside this Python kernel. Now you recollect, is it not the same thing that we do with respect to date time? Whenever you say date time, you get every function that is available, every class that is available inside date time, right? Okay. So it is the same thing. Now I am executing this. Now what happened? It executed successfully. What does it mean is inside this inside this module, there is a class, right? So to initiate a class, what should I do? rskill underscore object. I should create an object. So inside this PFB session module, if you say dot, it says there is a class, there are two functions, right? This, remember, I'm in a different file. So I'm initiating my class. Okay, right? I have initiated my class. Now, if I wanted to execute one function inside this class, which is function 1. What is function 1? We just did a into b, right? So I say 10 comma 20. You see, exactly output 200. So what did I do? The magic is my complete piece of code is not in this file. It is in a different file. But I'm just using the same code into my current Python shell, and I'm making the best utilization of it. The reason why is reusability. So we know the reusability, the definition of a function is if you have a set of code, if you want to use it in your program and again, you created a function. If you have group of functions to be utilized in the code again and again, you created classes. Now, if you have a class or group of functions that has to be utilized in parallel by 10 different programs, 10 different Python shells, 20 different Python shells at one single go, it is not possible to basically create every time the same code in all the 20 different Python shells, right? Instead, you will create one Python file, we call it module, and we import that module in all 20 different Python shells in parallel so that the same functions can be utilized by all of these Python shells in parallel. So even modules or packages are meant for reusability only, but it is a way that you should look at. The purpose is different. That's it. If you have reusability within the same code, you create classes or functions. If it is a reusability, you have a bunch of things that has to be executed by n number of people in parallel, you go create a module. All right. So again, I have few more, this one also, right? Inside this object, I have few more functions also. See the beauty of, again, PyCharm. As soon as you say dot, it will tell you what are the objects available inside that object as well, class as well. So this is the second one. Again, I say 10, 20. This is nothing but addition operation that we have wrote. Similarly, the third function that we wrote, Oracle underscore class 3, again it takes 2. It does a minus b. 10 minus 20 is minus 10. And not only this, inside this module, we also have functions, right? This is one class, but inside this module, I also have one function, right? If I say dot, there is one class and two functions. So let me call the second one, which is the first function. I say 10, 20, which is nothing but 10 power 20. So 10 to the power of 20 is this. You have 20 numerics or 20 zeros, basically, right? I also have another function inside this module, which is called function 2. It doesn't need any input. It will just say print, that is what it is. Now, again, I can do the same thing in a different shell also, right? I would say, just for a dummy purpose, I would now go, you would feel the purpose of creating a module. I would say dummy.py. There is another file. Simply, I basically take this complete code and I also use it here in another file. It will also work. See, let me rerun this. So I can reuse the same code, right? See, 200, 30, minus 10, 10 to the power of 20, and you have, this print statement, everything is there. So what you have done is you have successfully created a module. Now, to make your life a little easy in understanding how the Python has been developed, let me go back to this session and I would say simply import datetime that we have been doing since very long, right? So if I say, again, I will close this file. I'll close this file also. But as I told you in the past, if you have to go to the source code, the short form or shortcut on your PyCharm is using control and hover on this. It will give you this icon, and if you click on it, it will take you to that module, right? Similarly, when I hover on it and I click on it, see, I went into the same file. True? It is very same as we have done in the past. Similarly, if I say import datetime, hover on it, click on it, don't you see that it is also a Python file? Datetime.py, see? That's why when you said import datetime, this datetime module has been imported. Okay, so datetime is also a module. Inside this datetime, there is another class called datetime. Okay, if I say datetime and search here, see, let me go there. Okay, I think up, down, 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 down. There are a lot of datetimes here. That's why, see, another class called datetime. That's why in the past, what did we do? Import datetime, or from datetime, we said import datetime, which means though you have lot of things inside your datetime Python module, you only import a class called datetime. Everything else you can ignore. Okay. Now what am I doing is I'm creating my own module and I'm relating it to what already exists in the Python by default. so that it becomes very easy for you to understand. Hope that is helping you. Cool. On this note, what I would do is I would again restart my kernel. That means everything is fresh. From my, again, this particular module, I don't want to import everything. I just wanted to import, from this only import, for example, this function only, function 2. That's it. I'm only importing this. Let's see what happens. When I import only one function from the complete module into my Python, I can only run that function. That's it. I can't run anything else because I did not import everything into my Python shell, right? From this complete module, I only imported this function. Cool. So which means Oracle underscore mod1 underscore class 1, which was available inside this, I cannot use it because I did not import. As simple as that. All right. So now you know how to create a module. Cool. And how to import a module. How to basically import everything from the module. If you just say import this, everything will be imported from the module, which is nothing but a Python file. And inside that Python file, classes and definitions, everything will be imported. And if not, if you want to specify only one class or one function to be imported, you can use from clause. And it's the same thing that is happening with datetime also. You have seen it very clearly now. Okay. So inside, if I say from import datetime, everything will be imported from datetime module. But when I say from datetime, import only datetime, inside the datetime file, there is one class with the name datetime. So only that piece will be imported into your Python shell. Okay. Now, the very important thing that you should be understanding is what is a package. People call package a lot, but you should understand now what is a package. Okay. So package is nothing but group of modules bundled together is called a package. That's it. So in this directory, if I right click and create one directory called package 1, okay, there is one directory called package 1. See the beauty, just keep your eyes on this line number 20. What do I do is I basically move this module right on the screen. Okay, I'll move this file into this directory. Okay, so observe this line. Okay, line number 20, what happens? And line number 16, 17, what happens? See, automatically pack1 has been added as a prefix. The reason is your PyCharm is doing that magic. But if you are doing it in your Python shell, you have to write it manually. Now I can create such modules. I can create 10 different files like this and I can put in this directory. And this directory will be called as package. That's it. So package is a group of, package is nothing but group of modules. Now you might be asking or you might be wondering, what is a library then? As simple as that. Library is again group of packages. If I move this pack into this library, or if I have two different packages, part of one directory, subdirectory, that directory will be called as a library. Okay. Now, as this has been automatically written for you, but just to iterate, if you have to import a module from a package, you have to specify which package it belongs to. Or this is one way to do it. Or now you cannot directly say import, pfb underscore session underscore 14 underscore mod, because it is nowhere in this directory. But it is inside a package called pack1, right? So it is just a directory. Just say pack1 dot this one. That's it. Then you are basically importing everything. After you import it, all of these commands will also work now. See, this will also work. Oh, sorry. This has to be prefixed, right? Everywhere you have to do that prefix because it belongs to that now. So I import this and I execute this. Now see 200 exists here. Next one, 30 exists, minus 10 exists, everything is there. I'm sorry for that. So this is nothing but package. Now I can create another module, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy paste this completely. I'm copying it, but inside this package, I'm creating another file called pfb underscore session 14 underscore second module. Okay, I'm pasting the complete one, but here I would say here instead of mod 1 I say mod 2, so that action is same but the objects are different. Okay, just for the reusability of the code I'm doing this. Now what is that? It means I have two different modules available inside this package, pack1. So I can just minimize this. After doing this, if I want to import another module which is under the same package, pack1.pfb. This one, that's it. And in case if I wanted to only import one function from this complete module, I would say from this module, import only Oracle this function. That's it, into my shell. I can also play like this, right? And as I told you, I can create another pack like this. I have another pack which is available just like Oracle module 2 is what I have created by default. I can basically, sorry to do this, but I can push it outside. And what I can do is I can delete this so that, I can show you guys what is it. Delete. Cool. So now there is pack 2. Okay, this is one package having two modules. There is another package which is having Oracle module2.py. It is just a print statement. It has got only one definition. And the function is Oracle name. Now I can also say import from pack 2, import Oracle module 2. So if I do this, what I can do is I can also use the function called Oracle_name. Okay, did I import this? Yeah. So Oracle_name. Is that the one? Okay, Oracle_name. Is it underscore pack2? Yes. So when I say Oracle module import, it has done. Why is it not there? Okay, 1 second. From module import Oracle name. Cool. Now it is. It is little weird of why it has, I had to say from, because when I say this, let me go back to this one. Okay, cool. All right. So now let me do something which is little weird here. I would say class Oracle_class 3. Okay, and then say def Oracle_name 2. Okay, and then print this. Okay, so I'm saving it. Now I'm again loading this module. I'm sorry, it should be import directly, and I wanted to remove this from this line and then go back to this and execute. Now after this, if I do this, it executes. The reason, because I'll tell you the reason. There is a very good point that I just I just recollected that I have to tell this to you. That's the reason I did this exercise. Do you now observe that if I just have one function inside the file, it did not load the function as soon as I said import Oracle module 2. But if there is a class also inside the module, and also along with that you have a function, as soon as you say, in this pack2 and import this, it has imported both classes and functions. So if you ask me reason why, right from Python 3, whenever you wanted to create a module or a package, very importantly, in Python 2 version, there was always a necessity or a need to create __init__.py file. This used to be mandatory. So this file, why it used to be mandatory? For example, inside this pack, it was always mandatory to create another file called __init__.py file, and it can be empty also. The reason why it was mandatory in Python 2.7, right? The reason is you have to specify that these modules exist inside this directory. That was the reason. But from Python 3, it automatically creates a cache. Whenever you say import this, it creates a cache for you. And that cache will basically work if there is at least a class inside a module. Okay. So that is the reason why when you say import this module, and if this module has got only functions, it won't import. But if there is at least one class, and if the rest of the objects are all functions, it will import everything. Please remember this difference. And if you, when you go back yourself and try to explore more about modules, packages, and libraries, I'm sure that you're going to see this data also somewhere. That underscore init underscore .py is something that you have to create it even as an empty file. So don't worry about it. Okay. So that is it. Now again, the last point before I conclude this chapter is I can also create a library, say lib1, and I can move these two packages into that library. So package 1 get into that directory, inside the directory, and this also go into that directory. So this directory is now called as library. A library will have group of packages, and packages will have group of modules. And modules are the granular things inside which you will have the objects. What are the objects? Your classes or functions. So now I hope you guys are making some sense at this point of time why I always called module or package or library is one and the same. It is all a logical grouping, right? Even a module is basically nothing but group of classes and group of functions. That's it, nothing different. So if you know a function, you will easily understand a class because it is a group of functions. If you understand class, you understand module. Module is nothing but group of classes and functions. And if you understand module, you understand package. Package is nothing but just a group of modules. And if you understand package, you understand libraries. Libraries is nothing but group of packages, and it can also have your modules as well. Now, Python is a language which is a library of modules. That's it. So you can import datetime, that is a module. You can import OS, that is a module. You can import time, that is a module. You can import pandas, that is a module. Everything is a module that has been created for you, and it is available for you to basically get the most utilization from the PyPy website. So that is what you do when you do PyPy pip3 install some package name. It basically gets that Python file from the library on the internet, and it makes it to sit inside your library directory. And because it is copy pasted into your library directory, you are able to say import pandas. It is successful because that py file exists in that location. That's it. So it is not an installation at all when you say pip3 install something. It is just copy pasting file from the internet that is called PyPy, and it is saving it onto your local system so that you can utilize all the functions which are available inside that file. Okay. I think this is a little exciting topic for sure. In case if you are able to relate it, what we have been doing so far with respect to imports of all the default libraries and modules that we have been utilizing so far. Okay. So on this note, I did a very quick completion of topic today because this is what you have to know, and it is very important topic as well. Okay. So on this note, I am happy to take any questions on this modules and packages before I conclude. Any questions? Yes, no. So as you guys post some questions, let me check if I have covered everything that I thought of. Yeah, I also wrote, yeah, hi. Sorry, what concept of? Oh, you mean one module to be part of another package as well? Yeah, it is there. As I told you, that functionality is always there. But this is the magic. Inside this init dot underscore 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 init.py, you will have to specify. For example, there is a package. Let me take that example also. Dummy.py, consider it is a module, okay? But I want it to be available also inside this package too. That is your requirement, right? So in that case, what I will have to do is inside this init.py, I should say you should also consider importing module which is in a different location. What is that location? For example, I'm not saying this is an absolute thing, but this is a way to do it. Inside Python, let me make it a Linux level program. So //// there is a module called Oracle dummy.py. You have to also consider it part of this module. So you have to specify that in the underscore underscore init file. Then you can definitely do it. So whenever I basically import this package 2, so dummy.py, which is in different location, will also be part of that import command. That's it. Okay, cool. Any other questions? That's a very good question. Thanks for that. All right, so let me come back to this and to check if I've covered all the topics. Yeah, module packages. Okay, the next one is databases. Cool. All right, I have covered all of that I meant for this session then. Okay, in case if you guys have no questions, then I'm fine to wrap up this call. On the note again, as I told yesterday, we are almost 3 to 4 sessions away to conclude this course. So please keep yourself practiced with all the sessions that we have gone through so far, so that in a real-time session that is going to come up, the 4th session from today, if I'm not wrong, we are going to solve some problems, and also I'm going to take you through the real-world solutions also that you can build. Okay. Thank you guys. See you in the next session. Bye-bye.